everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Daria if you're new here, and today's practice is a spring flow. So this one is lighthearted and playful. I'll give you some options to play with, some fun inversions, and you will just need yourself and someplace to move today. So whenever you're ready, let's go ahead and get into it. We'll get started today just from Sukhasana. So find your way here to a comfortable seated position. Bring your palms facing up on your thighs and allow your shoulders to soften and settle your eyes closed. Just take a couple of moments here to let your body land, feeling the press of your sitting bones into the earth. Feel energy and length rising up the entire line of your spine, moving even beyond the top of your skull. Start to drop your awareness into your body, just feeling through what's here for you in the form of sensation as you arrive. Notice if there are any sticky spots or like shadowy spots, and start to imagine that your awareness is like shining a light onto those spaces, bringing a little bit of warmth, maybe some softening or release. Feel the movement of your breath. Take your inhalations deeply into your low belly. Fill the space between your ribs and then carry that breath all the way to the chest and the tops of the lungs. Allow your exhalations to flow back down that channel, but in reverse, and release every drop of air. Breathing in and out through your nose here, beginning to cultivate Ujjayi breath, if that's in your practice. Find a little bit of a constriction into the back of your throat and glide your breath along that space. Just staying here, one more full breath in. And a full breath out. Draw your palms to prayer at heart center and take a moment here to create an intention for your practice. Let it be something along the lines of lightening or dropping something you don't need, or creating more ease through your body and your mental space. Inhale, filling your body with this intention. Exhale, let something go. Blink your eyes open and start to find your way up into a tabletop position, climbing onto hands and knees. Spread your fingers really wide. Press into the pads of all 10 of your fingers. And then just start to explore through your body, taking maybe circular movement into the pelvis or into the ribs, the neck, the head. If you want to do a little arching and rounding of the spine, that's always a good place to start. Just kind of mobilizing, spreading the breath around, and also acclimating to the physical space, shifting out of analytical thoughts, letting the thoughts flow by, but without attaching to any of them, without labeling the experience, and letting this be focused more on the conversation between breath and body. One more inhale here. And stay for your exhalation. Neutralize your spine with your next inhalation. Tilt your sitting bones up to the sky. Begin to drag your palms back in space as your heart pulls forward and shift your gaze up. When you exhale, press into the toenails and the hands round your spine. Hollow your core, tuck your chin, let your head drop heavy toward the earth. Again, inhaling into cow, opening into the whole front line of your body. As you exhale, press down, swallow in and up through your core, and in doing so, let your back body expand. One more inhale breath, open up. Exhale, press down, round and curl. Come back to a neutral spine. Walk your knees a little bit more together toward one another. With your next inhalation, stretch your right leg long and back behind you, hovering in line with your torso. When you exhale, take your right knee wide to the side and then see if you can tap it all the way forward, maybe to your upper arm or shoulder. Inhale, extend your right leg straight back behind you, squaring off your hips. As you exhale, drive your right knee wide and forward, squeeze, compressing the right side waist. 2 more, breathe in, reach long and back. Breathe out, squeeze it in. One more time, inhale, extend. Exhale, hold, squeeze for 3, press the ground away from you for 2, hug your belly button to your spine for 1, and release, right knee down beside the left one. Inhale to stretch your left leg back. As you exhale, left knee goes wide, draw it forward, seeing how high you can touch the knee up onto your arm or maybe to your shoulder. Inhale, extend, left leg back. Exhale, squeeze in, feeling the obliques, the side of the abs working. 2 more, breathing in. Breathe out, squish your left waist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. This time we'll hold here for 3. Keep your knee high for 2, for 1, and release all the way down back to tabletop. Curl your toes under. Take an inhale breath and reaffirm the connection and the rooting of your hands to the earth. When you exhale, lift your knees and send your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. We won't stay here too long, but just take a couple of breaths to pedal through the feet, wiggle your hips out, do whatever you need to do to open up some space, feeling the elongation of your spine, opening up the backs of the legs, spreading the breath into your whole body thoroughly. Grip with your fingers and your toes to get a little steadier. Then spread your upper back space really wide, like you're broadening the wingspan of your shoulder blades. Take a full inhalation here. Stay for your exhalation. Next breath in, lift your heels, wave all the way forward through your spine to come into a rounded high plank. So core is squeezing up, your chin is tucked toward your chest. When you exhale, softly sink your knees down to the mat. Inhale, pivot your shins to the right, stacking left shin, or left knee rather, on top of the right one. Then cactus up through your left elbow. Take an inhale breath here. When you exhale, stretch your left foot to the back of your mat, root it flat, and then send your left arm all the way forward over your ear. Really squeeze your right side body, press your pelvis a little forward. Take one more inhale breath here in a modified side plank. When you exhale, float your left leg to hover parallel to the earth, and then bend at your knee. Reach around and back with your left hand. See if you can catch for the outer edge of your foot. Once you find your connection, press your left shin toward the back of your mat. Hug your shoulder blades toward one another. Open up broadly through your chest and maybe look forward. Take one more inhalation here. As you exhale, release your foot. Step your left foot down flat once again to the back of the mat, but this time bend your knee, really rooting into the big toe. Inhale to prepare. As you exhale, seeing if you can press into right hand and left foot, pick up your right knee and then glue the inside of your right foot to your inner left thigh. Take your left hand to the back of your head. Left knee can stay bent or straight. Just take one more full inhale breath here. When you exhale, revolve to face the top of your mat. Place your left palm down and then inhale to stretch your right leg high, coming into 3-legged down dog. When you exhale, stack your right hip over your left one, but keep your right leg straight. So really like airing out through the lines of the legs here. Now beginning to make big exaggerated circles with your entire leg coming from the hip joint. Right toes reach around wide and then skim the mat with your toes. Cross behind the left heel and then take a big, big, big circle all the way open in that direction one more time. When you're ready, go ahead and reverse that circle. Wide up, all the way around, just feeling through your range of motion here. Next time your right leg lifts high, pause at the top, square your hips, take a deep inhale breath. When you exhale, softly step your right foot all the way through to the top of your mat, land it inside of your right thumb. Come up onto your fingertips, sink your back knee down. Breathe in and float your arms to the sky, coming into kneeling warrior. When you exhale, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Squeeze your upper arm bones back, and then down, really plugging your shoulders into their sockets. See if you can press into your big toes, and with your next exhale breath, lift your back knee off the ground, coming into a high lunge with a chest expansion. So think of this less as a back bend and more as just a broadening of the collarbones and a lifting of the heart. Tuck your tailbone a little under, lift your pelvic floor, then maybe start to lean a little bit back. Take one more inhale breath here. When you exhale, release the grip of your hands, root your fingertips to the earth, and fold forward over your right thigh. Keep your back heel really lifted, and then stretch your right leg toward straight. So it's kind of like pyramid here. Shifting your right hip back, left hip a little forward. Breathe in, halfway lift and elongate, creating more space in your entire spine. As you breathe out, just fold forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Next inhalation, lengthen your spine and look to the top of your mat. When you exhale, bend your right knee a little, bend your left knee a little. Step into a fold at the top of your mat. Feet can be hips distance apart, just folding forward. Drape your torso over your thighs. When you inhale, halfway lift through your spine. The sitting bones reach back and the crown of head reaches forward. When you exhale, bow. Chest over your thighs, crown of head reaching to your toes. Next inhalation, press into your feet, long spine, reverse swan dive, rise all the way up to standing. Turn your gaze to your palms as they touch overhead. Exhale, palms to prayer, heart center. Inhale, reach up and look up. As you exhale, cactus your elbows. Press your pelvis a little forward. Keep buoyancy in your knees. Squeeze through your waist. Begin to glide your heart up toward the sky and lean back any amount, little back bend. One more breath in. Breathing out to fold all the way down and forward over your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate your spine. As you exhale, palms to the mat, step back into plank. Inhale, lean forward, shoulders move over your wrists. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower halfway, chaturanga. Hover here, holding for 3, for 2, good. Breathing deep. For 1, untuck your toes. Inhale, press into the toenails, lift through your heart, lift your low belly. Exhale, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Claw them out with your fingertips. Get steady. Take 3 breaths. Feel your breath moving as fluidly as water. Let it be smooth and sweet and lightening. Next inhalation, lift your heels, wave forward through your spine, come all the way into rounded high plank, squeezing up through your thighs and your core. When you exhale, sink your knees to the earth. Now pivot your shins to the left, right knee stacks on top of the left one. Breathe in and cactus up through your left elbow. Now, as you breathe out, stretch your right toes to the back of the mat. You can root your foot to the earth and then circle your right fingertips forward over your ear. Plug your shoulder into its socket. Maybe spin your heart slightly to the sky. Take a full inhale breath. As you exhale, begin to float your right leg to hover parallel to the earth. Bend your knee, kick your heel in, and then reach around and back, catching right foot in right hand. Flex your toes into your hand. Take a breath in, send your shin back, but with an equal amount of energy, draw your heart forward. Feel the press into your left toenails. One more breath in, expanding the heart. When you exhale, step your right foot down to the back of the mat. Root it flat, so big toe and pinky toe are rooted. Big inhale breath to prepare. When you exhale, see if you can squeeze your obliques, pick up your left knee, and glue the inside of your left foot to your inner right thigh. Take one more inhalation just to blast open into this big side body stretch. When you exhale, keep your left knee lifted, revolve to face the top of the mat, and then inhale, stretch your left leg high, coming into 3-legged down dog. When you exhale, stack left hip on top of the right one, but keep your leg straight or straight-ish, getting a really big expansive stretch. Begin to make circles, big ones, exaggerated ones, with your left leg all the way around in one direction a couple of times. And then you can switch directions as you're ready. Next time your left leg rises, big full inhale breath, three-legged down dog, hips are square. Exhale, right heel floats. Hug your left knee forward to your chest, compressing, contracting as you step through into a lunge. Come onto fingertips, let your back knee touch the earth. Inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana, kneeling warrior, fingertips float. Exhale, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Now breathe in and really dig down into your big toes as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and drop them down your back. Breathing out, press into the earth, pick up your back knee. Feel the rooting from your waistline down into the earth. Feel the lifting of your heart and the opening of the chest. Take one more full breath in. As you breathe out, release the grip. Dive down with a long spine to bring your fingertips to the earth, framing the left foot. And then left leg draws straight-ish. Take an inhale breath. Halfway lift, grow long and tall through your spine. As you breathe out, let your heart be a light. Shine it onto your left toes. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow in. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, micro bend both knees. Step to a fold at the top of your mat. Feet can be about hips distance apart. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate. Exhale, just to bow, folding in. Breathe in, root your toes, reverse swan dive, long spine rising all the way up to standing. Turn your gaze up. Exhale, palms to prayer, heart center. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, cactus your elbows, little back bend, however you want to get into it and however deep feels good to go. One more breath in. When you breathe out, dive all the way back down into forward fold, Uttanasana. Take an inhale breath, halfway lifts. This time when you exhale, pivot on your heels to turn your toes out. So they turn toward the top corners of your mat. Bend your knees and sit your hips low, coming into Malasana. Draw your palms to prayer at heart center. Really feel the hip creases softening, but then keep really lifting your heart in the direction of your thumbs. Just stay here. One more breath in. One more breath out. And we'll play into crow. So bring your palms down to the earth. Spread your fingers, tack down the finger pads. Lift your heels really high and then bend your elbows and your knees. Everything is magnetized toward the midline. Start to attach the knees to the backs of the arms somewhere. Turn your gaze a little bit forward, about a foot more forward than your fingers. And then maybe play with floating the heels in toward the sit bones. Good, now you can step back or maybe play with a little float back into chaturanga. Lowering down halfway, untuck your toes. Inhale, find your upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, belly button to spine, hips glide up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Energize the lines that run from the back of your heart, through your arms, and into your palms. See if you can stretch your heart a little bit more back toward your thighs. Again, breathing in and breathing out. With your next inhale breath, lift your heels, round your spine, and shift forward into high plank. When you exhale, sink your knees to the mat. Pivot your shins to the right. Take an inhale breath, cactus up through your left elbow. When you exhale, step your left foot to the back of the mat. Right away, inhale to prepare. And then when you exhale, press into right hand and left foot. Glue the inside of your right foot to your inner left thigh. Now stay here, or option to extend your right leg to the side, maybe circling your left fingertips all the way forward over your ear. Take a full inhale breath. When you exhale, revolve to face toward the top of the mat. Plant your left palm, pick up your left heel, then turn it toward the left long edge of your mat now, digging down into the knife edge of the foot. Step your right foot back off your mat, then bend your knees and sit your hips low to the earth. With your next inhalation, scoop your left shoulder blade underneath of the back of your heart and begin to open up into wild thing. You might stay right here, keeping both feet rooted. If you'd like, play with pressing more into your left big toe. See if you can pick up your right foot, like float it or hover it off the ground. You might need to bend your left knee a little to do this. And then see if you can catch your right foot in the air behind you with your hand, maybe. From there, magnetize your inner thighs. Begin to arc your heart toward the top of the mat and maybe work the left leg a little bit more towards straight. Just play. One more breath. Release your grip if you took it. Begin to stack right side body on top of the left side, pivoting through a side plank and then into three-legged down dog. Right leg stretches high. Inhale here. As you exhale, stack your right hip over your left one. Keep your leg extending straight toward the sky. Inhale, square the hips again. Three-legged down dog. When you exhale, step forward. Right foot, right thumb. Keep your back knee off the ground. Breathe in, press down, rise all the way up to standing in high lunge. When you breathe out, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Inhale, hug your shoulder blades back and down. Cinch your waist, puff your heart forward. When you exhale, keep the interlace of the fingers. Start to shift the weight forward into your right foot. Come to the tip of your left big toe, and then rise up into warrior three with the chest expansion. Left leg glides back behind you, and it might take a moment or a few moments to calibrate. That's okay. The balance is really constantly fluctuating, so feel the four corners of your right foot rooting evenly. Now, begin to puff your heart a little more forward, taking a breath in to inflate the pose. When you breathe out, release the grip of the arms, bend your left knee, and just dive down and forward over your right leg, placing your palms to the earth. We're gonna play with a little puppy press, maybe just taking a few hops, maybe finding a little bit of float time. So I'm gonna pivot actually to face a little bit more toward the side of the mat just to give myself more space away from the wall. Do what you gotta do in your own space. Bringing the palms down relatively close to the right foot. Come really high onto the ball of your right foot, and then take your left knee wide to the side, kind of like what we did from hands and knees at the beginning, as though you're gonna draw your knee almost to your shoulder. We're playing with stacking the hips on top of the shoulders. Now, begin to shift more weight forward into your hands. Press outward through the knife edge of your right foot and play with just taking a little hop, like floating that foot off of the ground. So let's just play with that a couple of times right here. And remember, always this is just play. We're not putting any pressure on the outcome here. No expectations, doesn't matter. After a couple of those little hops, if you need a little break, you can take one. Step your foot down, just come into a forward fold, take a couple breaths. Now you're welcome to come kind of like against a wall for this next round of playing, so that if your right foot does leave the ground, you can kind of press into the wall beside you. If not, totally cool. If you don't have a wall, no worries. So once again, driving the left knee really high and really wide, gripping the mat with your fingertips. Start to transition your weight forward into your hands. Start to stack your pelvis over your shoulders, and maybe play with that floating of the right foot. Maybe pressing up into puppy press. And when you're ready, you can start to touch your feet all the way back down and find a forward fold here. Just hang out for a couple breaths. Drop your head, relax. And then inhale, halfway lift, elongate your spine. As you exhale, just fold down over your thighs. Next breath in, press into your feet, long spine. Rise all the way up to standing, turn your gaze up. As you exhale, palms to prayer, heart center. Breathe in, reach up, look up. As you breathe out, cactus your elbows, maybe bringing the hands to either the sacrum or even the backs of your thighs to tip backward in space as you squeeze your waist and lift your heart up. One more inhale breath. As you exhale, draw in through your core, rising back up, and then fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. If you want to come into crow again and play with floating back from there, you're more than welcome. You could play with a different handstand variation, whatever you want to do. We'll meet back in downward facing dog in about 3 more breaths. Once you arrive in your down dog, pause and get steady. Combing the breath up and down your spine. All right, second side. Inhale, float your heels, round your spine, come forward, high plank. As you exhale, sink your knees to the mat. Inhale, pivot your shins to the left and cactus up through your right elbow. Exhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Take an inhalation to root your foot really flat and to prepare. As you exhale, press into left hand and right foot. Draw your left foot to connect to your inner right thigh. Now stay here or extend your left leg straight through all the way out to the right and circle your right fingertips over your ears. Squeeze your inner thighs. Take one more breath in. Exhale, pivot to the top of your mat. Right palm lands, right heel rises. Turn it the opposite direction. So right heel goes to the right side of the mat. Sink your hips like a little bit back in space and step your left foot off the mat behind you. Now bend your knees so your pelvis like almost lands to the earth. Wrap your right shoulder blade underneath of the back of your heart and then begin to open yourself up into wild thing. Airing out the front line of the body. Staying here or maybe dig down into your right big toe, claw into your right fingertips. Playing with kicking the left heel in, reach around and back. Seeing if you can catch for that foot in the air, and then finding the kick of the shin toward the back of your space as your heart stretches forward. Wherever you are, take one more inhale. Exhale, release your grip. Stack left side body on top of right side body. Left palm meets the earth. Inhale, left leg rises high. 3-legged down dog. Exhale, stack your hip. Open things up here. Inhale, square the hips. Stretch your left leg high. Exhale, glide left foot all the way through to your left thumb. With your next inhalation, press into both feet, rise into a high crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your fingers to interlace at the base of your spine. Inhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together and puff really far forward through your heart. When you exhale, lean your torso forward, forward, forward. Shift the weight into your left foot and launch your right leg up and back into this airplane pose with a chest expansion. Spiral your right thigh bone so it points straight down and your hips are level. Energize back through your right toes and forward through your heart. Take one more inhale breath to inflate everything. Exhale, release the arms, bend your right knee, and fold yourself forward over your left thigh. So here we are ready to play with puppy on the second side, puppy press rather. So your right knee is coming up high and wide. As you do this, see if you can lift your left heel, start to dig down into your finger pads, and just play a couple times with like a little hop, a little floating of the left foot off the ground, even if it's just for a little second, a hop and a slight like kick toward the left, as though you're kicking into a wall beside you. Play a couple times, take breaks when you need them. Make sure you are breathing as you practice this. I am guilty sometimes of holding my breath in these handstands. So now if you'd like, you can come beside a wall and again work that action of kicking the left leg like into the wall beside you so you have a little support, and then maybe starting to float up into the puppy press. Once again, taking any pressure off of yourself. Just playing. And when you're ready, you can start to find the earth once again with both of your feet. And just bow down into a fold. This time let's take Padahastasana. So hands under the feet, palms face up. And then you can kind of wiggle your big toes around onto the base of the palms and the wrists to let that go. Drop your head. Find space in the back of your neck and around your shoulders. Give your body a sway side to side. Slow down your breathing. Take one more inhale breath. And one more exhale breath. Release your grip, placing the feet flat. Take an inhalation, halfway lift, elongate. Exhale, just bow, forward fold. Breathe in, press through your feet, long spine, reverse swan dive, rise all the way up to standing and gaze up. Exhale, palms to prayer, heart center. Soften or close your eyes, just pause and feel for a few moments everything that's moving through your body. Blink your eyes open and release your palms down. Next inhalation, press into your feet, stretch your arms wide and all the way up. As you exhale, last time, little back bend, little or a little deeper, whatever you want to do. Placing the hands wherever helps you to feel supported and long in your low back. One more breath in. Breathing out, rise all the way back up to a tall standing position and dive down, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, prepare for crow, or just take a step back into plank and find your vinyasa. Once again, playing here for whatever amount of time makes sense to you. You can always pause the video. We will meet back in downward facing dog. There is no rush to get there. When you do arrive in your down dog, you're welcome to play through some like micro ripples of your spine. So inhaling, little arching all the way forward, or rather a little rounding all the way forward. Exhale, arching the tailbone and the sitting bones up, and then gliding back. Just like a kind of intuitive weaving of the spine. I find that this really helps to release and like cleanse and clear when things feel stuck or stagnant. Begin to lift your heels. Bring your knees to the mat. Take them wide. Touch your toes together and sit your hips all the way back to your heels. And begin to crawl your hands forward. And come into child's pose, whatever version you like. You could bring your forearms down, or you could stay a little more active with it, digging into the pads of the fingers. If you can, find somewhere to rest your head down, whether that's to the earth or to your palms. And take a subtle sway or rock of your hips from side to side. Slow down your breathing. Soften your belly. One more inhale. One more exhale. Begin to rise. Back up, come onto your knees and then down to a seated position. Swing your legs around and we'll roll to lying on our backs, taking a nice slow roll down the spine, feeling one vertebra at a time, anchor to the earth. Extend your left leg straight forward and start to hug your right knee into your chest, interlace your fingers on top of your shin. Just take a few breaths here, feeling the compression that you can create between your belly and your thigh. As you do this, see how much you can soften your right hip flexor, the front of the hip. Breathing deep. Inhale, hug your knee in a little tighter. With your next exhale breath, come into supine twist. Stacking right hip on top of the left one. Your right knee falls to the left, and your arms open wide to a T shape. You can unstick your left shoulder and turn both of your eyes over your right fingertips. Just relaxing all your muscles here, softening even the hands and the feet. Roll back to the center and we'll switch. So left knee will hug into your chest, Fingers interlace on top of that shin as your right leg stretches and extends forward. Create compression, squeezing your leg in as tight as you can, but without forcing anything. See where you can soften a little more. We're starting to slow down our practice, getting ready to rest. So let your breath stretch out even longer. Inhale here. Exhale, stack left hip on top of the right one, taking the left knee over to the right. Open your arms wide, adjust however you need to on your mats, and drop. Feel held by the surface beneath you. Bringing things out in this twist. And roll back to the center. Step both of your feet in so they're underneath of your knees, and then walk your heels in close to your sit bones. We're going to take a supported bridge. This will be our last pose before Savasana. So root into your feet, breathing in. When you breathe out, press down and begin to peel your spine off the ground, one vertebra at a time. Walk your upper arm bones toward one another, underneath of the back of your heart. Now bend at your elbows. We'll take the heels of the hands to the sacrum, with your fingertips wrapping wide, like around the sides of your waist. Then let your pelvis sink into the support of your hands. So you're just kind of cradling yourself here in this supported bridge. If you do have a block or a pillow or something, and you can slide that underneath of your sacrum, and that feels more like, it creates more ease for your body, you're always welcome to do that instead. We'll just stay for a couple more breaths. See if you can soften more into your belly. Relax your legs. Let your pelvis drop even more for your last breath here. Now, press into your feet, lift your hips to take the weight off your hands, bring the palms back down to the earth, untuck your shoulders, and start to roll back down your spine, one vertebra at a time. As your sacrum touches down, hug your knees into your chest. You can take a couple circles, pressing your sacrum to the earth, massaging the low back space. And when you're ready, hug yourself into a really tight squeeze. Find a lot of energy here in this compression. It's like hugging yourself so tightly, squeezing the thighs to the belly, curling your chin to the chest. Take another inhale. And with your next exhale, open up, feeling the heat you just created in your body, and let yourself rest into Shavasana, dropping away any remaining holding or tension or residue. And just allowing yourself these next couple of minutes to integrate and process and soak up all the good effects of your practice. You're welcome to stay and rest even longer if you want to soften more. But when you're ready to start coming back into your day, deepen your breath. Staying on your back, begin to take some little movements to wake yourself up. Whatever wants to happen naturally. You could wiggle your fingers, roll out your ankles or your head or your wrists. And then on an inhalation, take a long body stretch, reaching your arms all the way up and back over your head and extending from your pelvis forward through the tips of your toes. With your exhale, roll to a side to come into fetal pose. Knees are tucked in, head is heavy, resting here. And then keep your eyes closed if you're able as you press down and find your way up to a tall seated position, closing in Sukhasana just where we began. Have your palms facing up, soften your shoulders. Take an inhalation through your nose. Pause at the top of the breath and hold it in your chest. Slow, smooth exhale through your nose, let it go. Again, inhale. Pause, hold the breath, lift your pelvic floor, tuck your chin, and soften your face. Exhale through your nose, let it go. One more like that, inhale. Pause at the top, feel your body full of air. Exhale. Let your breath return to a steady, natural state. And just pause here, noticing anything that has opened up or been clarified or lightened in your practice today. Is there anything you were able to release? Were you able to find some playfulness or ease in your body? Draw your palms to prayer at heart center and reconnect to whatever your personal intention was. See if you can carry this with you into the rest of your day or even into your week ahead. We'll take one final breath here. Inhale, fill your lungs. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Lift your hearts and bow. Chin to chest, namaste. Thank you so much for sharing this little playful springtime practice with me. This one was definitely a little more on the challenging side. So if you are still working on some of these poses, you always will be, that's the thing. And just remember to have fun with it and try to drop any pressure that you've placed on yourself to achieve any certain external outcome. Focus back on the feeling and the internal actions that you can create to find deepening. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, you can do that down below. You can also join as a monthly donation member. Both of these really, really help to support me, and I so appreciate all of you. I hope you're doing well and have a great rest of your day or your night. I'll see you soon in the next class. Bye.